What's going on, everybody? Hashtag Data Spartan back with a new video today. And I am joined by Michelle Bothe. She is the CEO at Finsure Consulting. So Michelle, thank you for joining me.
Great.
Cool. So as excited as I am about the Chiefs winning Super Bowl last night, I'm more excited to have you on because I think the topic that we were talking about earlier was very, very relevant. So you were talking about how MGAs can figure out their tech stack and then what to think about whilst building that out. So can you give a little bit of background on the why and sort of where the issues that are coming in today?
Right. So regardless if you're an MGA, a carrier, really what you need is you need a policy admin system. In a policy admin system, you have rating, quoting, policy lifecycle, data care reporting, and forms document generation. So what that really means is you need to understand your risk appetite. So am I willing to risk? Am I willing to write this risk? So that's what a quoting engine's responsibility is. So it looks at the appetite. Then the rating engine says, how much are we going to price for this exposure? And this can be done with straight through processing, or it can be done very manually intensive. And we've seen it all across the spectrum. And really, you're trying to get commissionable premium all the way to what you're going to invoice to the individual insured. So plus tax fees, surcharges, underwriting credits, and penalties. Then you take it to policy lifecycle, which is everything post-issuance. So all the MTAs all the way through to renewals. Then you have data care reporting, which is your P&L, any sort of bordereaux, and really all of your data that you're going to report out of. Then where you take that is you have forms document generation, where you say, oh, it's new business. It's the state of Texas, okay. And then you look at the line of business and you say, okay, here's the deck page, general terms and conditions. Here's the state of mandatory filings and forms that are associated with this. And so that's a policy admin system. But where teams kind of think that that stops is, in addition to that, when you think about your core tech stack, you need that to work with a CRM, a payment processor, and a billing general ledger. And so you'll never be able to achieve real-time reconciliation if you don't have your policy transaction ledger, or PTL, working in sync, in tandem with billing general ledger, payment processor, and your CRM.
Interesting. So that makes a lot of sense because obviously when you think about the tech stack as a whole, one interesting thing you said before was think about what happens when there's changes in business situations, because obviously the tech stack needs to be flexible, right?
Yeah, so we think all this will work. So teams come to me and they're like, oh, it's all API driven. Yeah, it's modern public forward-facing, well-documented APIs, and it's true SaaS, true cloud. Well, that's what we hope is in these vendors. And so what I do is I assemble a lot of these different vendors together. So it doesn't matter if you're using Stripe or eBay or whatever payment methodology you're using, there's a lot of different vendors of choice. Sometimes people build, but if you want to be able to write policies compliantly and you want to service them efficiently, then you want to make sure that you have tools that you're selecting in your tech stack. Doesn't matter if you buy, doesn't matter if you build, but you need these to work together in sync. So you kind of map out your process, the business flow for here's what new business looks like. But then you have it's insurance. So we have to plan out for the life cycles. And so where it takes it is you have cancellation for non-pay. Well, that affects your CRM, that affects your payment processor, that affects your billing general ledger, and affects your PTL, which is inside of your policy lifecycle. And so that's how you want to think about it, is you need all the systems talking to each other at the right time, at the right level of granularity.
Interesting. That's a good point. So if you're watching this and you're like, we are reevaluating our tech stack or we're just getting started, what's that sort of first step that you would recommend somebody take right now as like an actionable insight?
Think about your business flow and then think about what tech would be able to support that. There's a lot of different tech vendors out there, but really if you can, it's a lot of noise sometimes. And so if you can think about what your true business problem is, and then map that, then you can figure out the solutions. Don't just go down a bunch of vendor calls that are going to tell you a bunch of different variety of answer of the day sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm a sales rep at a tech company and I'm offended. No, just kidding. But anyway, thank you, Michelle. That was amazingly valuable. Guys, hope you enjoyed that, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.